Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's me to go first. I have the cue. I can play chin. Now, this isn't a bingo rack, but it's balanced in terms of vowels and consonants, and I've got a good scoring tile in the X. I'd like to play off the X and resolve the duplicate tiles. That may not be completely possible. I don't have an I for going underneath the Q. Now in terms of short X words, I've got ox, axe, oxo. Wow, good start by my opponent. What have I got? So I'm looking to play off T, O and X. Well, I can do that. I can play toxoid. $28 points. If I played oxo in column 9 next to irrigate, I could get about 38 points. So I'm sacrificing 10 points in order to have a much better rack leave. Well, 5 of those 10 points can be accounted for by not having a duplicate tile, in which case it's close, and if it's close I'd rather have the better rack leave. But is there something better than toxoid? I'm looking in particular at row M to see if I've got a word beginning axe, which stretches across to the double word square. Can't see one. And I'm also looking in row J to see if I can place my X on a triple letter square. Well, I could play taxor, but that's going to be the same number of points, and it's going to leave me with DO, DOT. I think I'd prefer AT to DOT. Well, a lot of vowels, but I may have a bingo through a floater. Through a C I would have acerate. And that's all I can see. But if I play off an A and an E, I would have AEIRT, which is, although slightly vowel heavy, quite a good rack leave. The trouble that I have is that all my tiles are one pointers, so I'm not going to score very much, and I'm behind at the moment. Just looking around at the floaters in case I have overlooked a bingo, but I don't think there is one. Wow, another bingo for my opponent. Storming start for him. So, I do want to play off an A and an E. Well, I'm wondering if I can play underneath chin, if I can place an I underneath chin. If I don't do that, if I just play AE, for example here, 13 points. And the trouble with this rack leave is that if I draw 1 or 2 vowels, I could have a similar rack. No bingo and no scoring No high scoring possibilities. Now I'm looking at the Q and the X as ways of generating more score. But if I use them, I'll be weakening the rack leave, and I don't think I'm going to score significantly more than 13. This looks much better. I have Seriate as a 7-letter bingo, and that has the anagram airiest, which plays in column 10, making chins. I have Ariettes in column 4 through the T of toxoid. So I think I will be bingoing. Now I'm looking in column J to see if I've got something with a lot of overlaps with toxoid. So I've got Rhestia and arteries. Well, Rhestia certainly plays beginning with the R of irrigate, but not ending with it. What about arteries? Well, that doesn't go in either spot. Okay, great. That's the chins spot remaining available, and that's good because I'm behind, and this is going to open the board up with some really good floaters. There's still one blank unseen, I think. So, airiest, 72 points. Just pausing in case there's something a lot better, and I don't think there is. Airiest doesn't take anything in front of it. Now this is not a bingo-y rack at all, but I could play Bath or Beth or Bart and hopefully score reasonably and sort it out a little bit. Now if I played Bath, I would have H-E-T left, and I mention that just in case I've got a bingo with Bath as with Bath at the beginning or the end, and I don't think I have. £30 points for my opponent, continues to score well. Now there's also row E to consider, because it's a double-double and I can get a double-double without bingoing. But I can't see a double-double. Now I could play Bath in row B above Vapid. £24 points. It's not a huge score, and it's providing a very good scoring opportunity for my opponent in column 15. But if he is drawn to that, it's keeping the floaters of airiest available. And while I'm behind, I'd like to keep the board as open as possible. I'm looking in row M underneath Goad to see if there's a better play than Bath. Well, I don't think there is, and I'm also looking above Toxoid to see if I can take advantage of the X. Well, I can't, not in a way which leaves me with a good rack leave, and the rack leave is always my priority. Well, it's rack leave and score that I'm always considering in combination. So 25 points, not good. My opponent could easily come back with a 40-point play in column 15, but if he does, he's likely to be opening up column 14 as an additional bingo lane, and the rack leave of EHT is not bad. Now, what I'm thinking about doing is Hath instead of Bath, scores more. B is a slightly less bingo-y tile than the H, but not hugely so. So I will take the extra points. Can't see a bingo here. I've got 2 scoring tiles in the B and the W. I'm 27 points behind. If my opponent doesn't take the H of Hath, I've got when. But I am expecting him to do so. I certainly want to resolve the duplicate N. I'm looking at the A of irrigate in case I've got an 8-letter play, but I can't see one. I'm looking away from the Hath spot because I am expecting that to go. So do I have something through the, a double-double through the R of airiest? No, I do not. So a play of new or when would score quite well. Now I note that in playing Hath, I am opening up row A as a bingo lane because HI does take a C and a G in front, so that's another good reason for playing that. Now I don't think I can play the B, the W and the N. Possibly new B in row F through the I, but that's not going to score very much. So the W is certainly a priority tile above the B. So I could play new for 21 points. It's not a great score, but it's leaving a decent rack leave and it's keeping the board open. Now through an E I would have between, but there is no E and I can't see anything else. Now what about playing down in column 12, placing my W? So I could play wine down here. 30 points, that's a better score. And although it's taking out row A, it is opening up column 13. And it is a fairly open board. And I'm keeping an N, so column 2 is quite useful for me for words ending ing if I draw an I. And there are 5 of them unseen. So can I do better than wine? I can't see a way of playing off the B in this spot. Well, still not a great rack. I'm only 40 points behind, so I'm not out of it yet. So a play of Benge would certainly resolve this rack, leaving ENT, and that's playable in column 14 at the moment. It's not going to score very much. 24 points. But it's good to see a move. Yep, another good play by my opponent, 65 points. And he's provided a nice spot for Benge. I'm keeping duplicate E, but I don't really mind that. I have no other vowels, and duplicate E is still quite bingo-y. And there are only 4 E's unseen. 63 points. I don't think there's going to be anything better than that. Great. I draw the final blank. I do draw another E. So no bingo immediately springs to mind. But I may have one. So what I'm going to do is immediately start cycling through the alphabet. Okay, fee note is not good. Don't think there's anything there. Well, still not seen anything. Which is going to be a shame because this looks a pretty bingo-y set of tiles. Yeah, I can't see anything. Now, what about 8 letter plays? Because as I was cycling through, although I was trying to keep an open mind for 7s and 8s, I didn't have a specific floater in mind. So what are the floaters? And I think I am going to restrict my search for 2 consonants. So there's the T of irrigate. Do I have a bingo beginning with a T? Well, I might. But I can't see it. What about... Okay, ulcering has taken out the R of areas. There's the W of wine. And there is now the S of guilts. This would be such a good time to bingo. I've got 10 minutes left. So do I have a bingo through the S? So I'm imagining the S on my rack now specifically. Well, that looks like it might be close to something. Can't see anything there though. Wow, this just feels so close to a bingo, and it would be such a critical miss if I overlook one. So I've got the S-O-M-E ending, teensome, not good. What about here? Nope, can't see one. Gosh, what a tricky rack to deal with. Eye stone. Oh, and it doesn't quite go. How annoying. Eye stone would have gone if the S had been 1 square higher. Right, so what I need to do is sort this rack out, and simply playing off 2 E's is going to do that. So I'm looking at the X to see if I can play there. Well, I could play E-N-E. £23 points. 2 O's left and 3 E's. It's quite a vowel heavy bag, so it would be helpful to retain the E. Looking at the scores, I'm 57 points behind. It's 22 tiles in the bag. I am short on time, but this is an important move. Keeping that N might be critical. So where can I play double E? Oh, well, I can play it down here. 11 points. I'm sacrificing 12 points to keep that N. Yep, I'm happy with that. Great. Well, I'm glad I kept the N because you can see how many vowels I have. Now, do I have a bingo? Surely I do. I've got the out prefix and the un prefix. I've got tono with the blank as an N, and that plays at the moment in column 13, making ET. It doesn't score very much, but it is a bingo, and I am 48 points behind. I can't see a bingo ending in the W. Great. Tono plays, so even though I've only got 6 minutes left, I got a bingo in the bag. And look at that, my opponent's only scored 16 points. Fantastic. What would be better than Tono, which I note also plays in column 14? Where would be a better spot? Do I have out-earned? Do I have out-earned? Yes, look at this. Fantastic. Out-earned. 82 points. That is massive. And I now have an 18-point lead. But my pickup is dismal. It is balanced in terms of vowels and consonants, but V, B, F, Y are pretty unsynergetic, except column 1, beefy. Beefy and YU. Is that going to stay available? And, well, I guess bevy is also a word. I'm not sure if that plays anywhere. And do I have anything ending with the W of wine? Can't see anything. So at the moment I haven't got anything apart from beefy. It would be good to have an alternative play, especially given that I'm short on time. Not too many scoring opportunities on this board. The letters that remain are, well, it's quite a curious bunch. Quite a few scoring tiles there, the Z, the P and 2 M's and the K, but there are no E's. So my opponent could have quite a tricky rack. In fact, all of the remaining racks in this game are likely to be tricky. I don't have anything which goes underneath the U of out-earned, that triple letter square. The M would go well there, so hopefully my opponent will be drawn to that. I'm looking above out-earned to see if I have a play across there. Well, no, I don't. I was thinking about BEY, but I don't have the E doesn't go in front of the O. So, is beefy going to stay available? My opponent's got 10 minutes on his clock, so he's got more time than me. Fantastic. Look at this. This is going to be a big score. The F gets doubled and then tripled. 56 points. That is massive. And I have a balanced rack in terms of vowels and consonants. A long way from a bingo, but there's only 3 tiles in the bag, and the remaining tiles do not look bingo-y. So, do I have somewhere to score well with my K or my V? I'm looking straight away to see if I've got a play ending with the W of wine. Or it could end WD. And although it's unlikely, I'm looking there because if I do have a play using the K or the V, it's going to score well. Well, I can't see one. I note that my K goes after YU in column 3 to make yuck. I can't see a way of playing off the V with the K. So what can I do? I could play AUK, A-U-K, and that sorts out the VU combination, and that stays available. So, one tile in the bag. Remaining tiles are quite nice. I have got a 40-point lead. I'd quite like to play off more tiles than this. I'd like to give myself a chance of going out in one. AUK for 24 points, that is not very many. DERV has some synergy. If I picked up an I would have Diver. But it would be nice to play off one more. I've got 5 minutes left, so I'm not in huge time trouble. That just doesn't feel like it's the best play. Well, I could play Dark, keeping EVU, and there's only 3 vowels out of the 8 tiles, so keeping 2 vowels might be okay. And the advantage of playing off 4 tiles rather than 3 is that I'll only have 4 tiles next go, which makes it easier to find outs, but those 4 tiles will include a U and a V. 28 points for Dark. So not totally happy with that. Well, is there a 5-letter play I can make? So I've got 4 minutes left. I'm looking to see if I've got an extension of woof in column 15, and I can't see one. I'm looking around for any amazing spots for my K next to premium squares. Can't see any. Now, in column 3, is it just my K which can go after YU? Yes, it is. And then it's the L after it, so I could have a word ending K-A. Well, I can't see one of those. So Dark keeping EVU. My opponent could have the Z. Now I need to look around in case there are some really good Z spots which I ought to be blocking, and I can't see any. So AUK. I'm going to play Dark because I want... There's a vowel shortage. My V benefits from having vowels even if one of them is a U. And Dark scores more. And just checking that I haven't set up a great spot for my opponent Z, and I haven't. Right. Well, I don't think I am going out in one. Hopefully I won't be critical. I am 68 points in front. Through DI I would have up dive. Now, where can I play my V? Unfortunately, I don't have any 3-letter V words on my rack. Wow, this is a pretty awful rack, but it's my own fault. Really waiting with bated breath to see what my opponent does with his Z. Now I've got Dev, or Arve, in rows B and C through the tiles in Dark. I've got Vum, just playing off the V in column 6. I'm just looking around Ceto to see if I can get my V on the triple letter square, but although Lev and Love are both good, EO and UO aren't. My opponent has 7 minutes on his clock, I've got 2. And all I'm seeing is really low scoring moves for me, which is annoying because it means my opponent could catch me if he plays a couple of 30-point plays, and that would be enormously annoying, because I suspect it was avoidable. Mind you, if I'd played Orc, I would have kept Derv, and with a P that wouldn't have been much better than what I've got at the moment. I suspect that was a better move than either of those two, but we'll find out shortly. Now, if my opponent, after his move, does have an out in 1, it's not essential that I play off the V, because I'll be looking for the highest scoring move I've got, taking count back into account. I do, however, have Dev in column 13 for 9 points, which I think is the highest scoring play I've spotted so far. Ah, Pav. I've got Pav in row M. Pav and Div. That's going to score a lot. About 25 points. But my opponent may stick his Z in front of that A. I've got V in column 8 through the E of out-earned for 10 points. Great. Pav not blocked. And, oh wow, 45 points. That is a good score for my opponent. He's only 23 points behind. He's got a good rack leave in male. So I think Pav's going to be good enough. But my other moves may not have been. Now, has my opponent got somewhere amazing for male? He can't play it in column 4 because he doesn't have an E for going after the R of dark. I'm looking around to see if there are any other really good spots for him. He hasn't got something onto the W of wines. So I think Pav for 25 is going to be enough. And I am expecting my opponent to go out, although I haven't identified an out play for him. So if he doesn't, I've got 1 minute 30 with E and U. I can play Jew in row B, D-U-E. Do I have a second out? Yep, I do. My column 12, I have Sue and O-U, and also Q in row J. So Q for 5 is the best I've seen. Ah, I've got Uvia in column 9 for 9 points. Not sure if I'll get a chance to play any of these. That was a good score for my opponent, 45 points with sods. I think he may be a little unlucky if, given the tiles that he's got left, that he hasn't got a great play. Yeah, claim for 11. That's fine. Pass to end the game. And the final score, 427 to my opponent, 460 to me. A winning margin of 33 points. Quite a close game. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go fast. Chin was best. Great start for my opponent, 80-point bingo. I played Toxoid for 28, could have got 39 for Oxo, but look at the rack leave. I really do not like AD double T. AT is far more flexible, and I think it's worth the 11 points sacrifice. Great spot by my opponent, Larynges. Great, didn't miss something here. A whole bunch of plays in the 20s, most of which wreck the rack leave. What did I do? Yeah, I played AE for 13, again taking about a 10-point sacrifice, but with a really good rack leave. And it paid off because I had a bingo. Tirius, I didn't think of that, 72 points, but my play of Arius scored the same amount, and I think is better because I think it opens up the board in a way which is better for me, in that it provides lots of floaters. I think if I'd played Tirius, then my opponent could have blocked most of those floaters with a row O play to the triple. So this is more open, which is what I want when I'm behind. And there were a few other bingos, but this looks best. Heath for 30. Now, I didn't play that. Well, that's down from the double letter square at A12. Instead, I played Hath. Okay, not very much between those plays. They're both open plays. My opponent scored well, 45 points. This was, well, it felt problematic. I could have played Bornine through the A of Irrigate. That would have been a great way of sorting this rack out and scoring well. And although I played Wine for 30, I could have played Whiten for 32, and that would have been slightly better. So actually, although Bornine scores the most, I am playing off the E, so there's very little between those top three moves. Nice bingo by my opponent. Let's just see if he had anything else. Well, just the anagram of what he played. I was quite fortunate. Yeah, I was quite fortunate to have Benge. If my opponent had played Reculing, I would have had Bungee, so he was going to get punished whatever he played. This looks pretty good. No bingo though. Now, did I miss something here? No, I didn't. Fantastic. C11, where's that? Ah, yeah, quite nice. In between Wine and Arius. But this is where I thought that the bag was consonant vowel heavy, therefore I wanted to hold on to the N. So I took again another 10-point sacrifice in the interests of my rack leave. But although the unseen tiles were vowel heavy, a lot of them were on my opponent's rack. Now this is where I played out-earned, and well, a whole bunch of other bingos, but out-earned was the best, way out in front on score. Quite fortunate that such a great spot was available for such an initially unpromising rack. This put me into a good lead. Just checking my opponent's rack in case he had something amazing. Ah, so he did have a play through that W. Meows. Now, this is where I think I played suboptimally and got away with it. But, add view. Keeping URK, that would have been nice. It would have been a really good score. I'd have kept the K for scoring next turn. Yeah. Okay, so add view I think would have been fine, but there's nothing else jumping out at me in the remaining moves as being hugely better. I didn't consider Duker because I wasn't sure of it in column 3, DUKA leaving ERV. I might well have played that if I'd have seen it. Now what could my opponent have done here? Well, Saz and Soz were the highest scoring plays, so I don't think he could have done anything better than what he did. And finally Pav at M7 was a nice play with a dreadful rack. Now, what was the best my opponent could have done? Nothing. Claim was his only out. Well, in which case it may have been advantageous for me to block it. But anyway, it didn't matter. I squeaked out a narrow victory by about 30 points. I didn't think the game was going to go that way. My opponent bingoed with his first two moves and got a good lead. I didn't feel that I had great rack and was frequently taking significant point sacrifices to improve the rack leave. That doesn't always pay off. In this instance it did, because on two of those occasions I was able to play airiest and out-earned, which got me back into the game. And then a bit of luck, I think, with Beefy scoring so much, and that was enough to take me to a narrow victory. So quite an exciting game, and quite an instructive one, I think, because there were some tricky racks to deal with, and this whole issue of taking point sacrifices is one which is difficult to master. It is certainly not the case that you should always take big point sacrifices to improve your rack leave. A lot of factors go into making the right decision, and I think the best way of illustrating that is simply by coming across occasions in these videos and talking through the specific circumstances which apply in each given case, and hopefully you can absorb from that lessons which you can then, or principles that you can apply when you come across similar situations in your games. So I hope you found that video instructive and enjoyed watching it. My name is David Webb. This has been a video for Dweebovision.